What was I watching the other day where Jenny was in it? And I was like, oh my God, I never noticed that Jenny was in that show. And by Lieutenant Dan, because I do have Gen Zers in my energy, Lieutenant Dan is a mentor from Forrest Gump. One-off or a karmic cycle, the DOJ GATE program for talented and gifted children. They put me in this GATE program and they claimed it was a reading class. It was only me, nobody else. The years worth of experimentation that the government has done on me, chipping me, tracking me, surveilling me all these years. So don't you think the government would want to peer into my internal world? But I'm getting my powers back. And by you guys, I mean the government. You guys are so transparent, at least to people like me, which is why you did not want me to wake up to my gifts. The energy is flowers, accolades, and awards today. So let's get into it, guys. Welcome back to New World Angel. Let's see what we got going on today. Oh, this one flipped over. Teacher. Got a teacher in the energy. Teachers need to get paid more. That's a well-known fact. Or just paid in general. Lieutenant Dan! Hi, Lieutenant Dan! I just saw my Lieutenant Dan online and it nearly scared the shit out of me because he's got great hair naturally and he was wearing like a balding man's like headpiece or wig or something. So that's a dead giveaway of who my Lieutenant Dan is. Hi! Wonder who your Lieutenant Dan is. And by Lieutenant Dan, because I do have Gen Zers in my energy and younger. Lieutenant Dan is a mentor from Forrest Gump. So, yeah. And if you haven't watched that movie, which I feel like I need to rewatch that now that I'm bringing it up, but if you haven't ever seen that movie, first of all, it won a shit ton of awards. And you should probably go and watch it. It's really, really good. You'll pick up on a lot of cultural cues and like sayings because it was very iconic and still is. What was I watching the other day where Jenny was in it? And I was like, oh my God, I never noticed that Jenny was in that show. Oh, it was older. Shoot. It'll come to me. What was it? Man. I don't know. Headline news could be significant for you. I think we're gonna do an extended today. So, do you guys like my new setup? It's not pretty if you were to take a look around, but it works. And it gives you guys a better view. New alliances. The come sail away by Styx, going somewhere new. Having to do with water, boats. I still have not seen the Odyssey. Maybe I'll take myself out tonight to go and see that. I'm sure it's amazing. This was on the bottom and I almost said it but didn't, and now my spirits are like, no. Hit dogs will holler. Yeah, you're sailing away from those types. Real estate is involved. Having to do with a teacher, I believe. Not the same teacher or mentor. I mean, could be, but you, collective, are the teacher, are the mentor. Most curious. I love this card. A lot of these cards have been coming out, my superlatives. Most Curious Award, the Carmen Sandiego Award. That goes to you. Maybe you're just like a good researcher, or you're just curious in general that you find yourself, I don't know, on my channel, or just getting into new things, just curious. Curious about a teacher, seeing what's going on. String instruments are important. Whatever it is, your presence demands respect. You guys are so far away, as are my cards, so. String instruments busted. Next to new alliances. I don't get bad energy off of busted. But perhaps the potential to work with new alliances, either those people are well known or they're well known for being busted, like no bueno. Dream job, next to astral travel. High-level soulmate. Yeah, I get whatever you walked away from. Whatever you walked away from took you right into a high-level soulmate. Like you walked, doesn't have to be, I mean, you could have like bumped into them, but I more or less get like walking right into the energy of a high-level soulmate, which could be a mentor or a teacher. Speech. A high-level soulmate wants to talk, wants to say something, has something to say. It's giving Karen vibes. That goes to the Most Curious Carmen Sandiego Award. They're giving Karen vibes. Sometimes confusion is the lesson. Enamored. Even though this person may be confused or just like trying to gain additional information, they're sort of they're just sort of like, they're tied to it. You know, they're invested. Highly focused. Highly focused on winning, beating out the competition. And the only reason why I say that is because awards, accolades, flowers. Anxiety, don't forget to name it. So you got a little bit of anxiety there. About the frigidness with a high-level soulmate. You have so much to look forward to, collective. I just made a huge mess. That's annoying. I'm gonna try not to focus on that. Luciferians, it's giving Karen vibes, Luciferians. Those that, I don't know, either they don't pray to anything or they actually pray to Satan. There are Satanists out there. Kidnapping. Maybe that's what they're curious about. They want to hear what you have to say on that. Hermit mode. Build it and they will come energy. Now collective or spirit, remember this is we want this to be one continuous storyline in chronological order if possible. Yeah, who the hell do they think they are? Next to, you have so much to look forward to. So you stood up and said something. Said something about, yeah, Luciferians, kidnapping, hermit mode, so Virgo could be significant but doesn't have to be. Build it and they will come energy. Who the hell do they think they are? Oh, whatever you built was in retaliation, or not even just retaliation, but it was like a balancing of energies for you specifically. Whatever you built was in direct correlation to what these people did. But you are an absolute joy to be around. Most likely to betray your trust, the Sneaky Link Award. Falling out next to kidnapping. What else, Spirit? One-off or a karmic cycle? The DOJ next to kidnapping. So the DOJ is involved. GATE program for talented and gifted children. If you guys haven't been following my ex, I have been posting a lot of the MK Ultra hearings that have been going on. There's a need for people to hear you. And my experience with the GATE program, I was in second or third grade. It was right around the time I had moved from living with my quote-unquote mother, who's not really my fucking mother, but moved away from her and my stepfather back with my dad and my stepmom. This was like circa 1992, 93. And they put me in this GATE program, and they claimed it was a reading class. They would actually take me out of class, and it would just be, it was only me, nobody else. So I must have been super gifted, right? And they would give me ink blot test and for me to tell them what I was seeing. For me personally, I can't remember my answers, but a part of this, I believe they were trying to figure out whether or not I remembered parts of my past or not and what my memory was telling me. So probably digging into like, what sort of nefarious things does she remember? They also gave me Zener cards. If you're in the spiritual community, you would know what those are, but essentially it's a card game. And they presented it to us like it was a game. They would put down a card, and it only had symbols on it. It was like a star, wavy lines like water, a triangle, a circle, and maybe some other ones, plus sign maybe. And they would put it down and they'd be like, okay, so what's the next card? And I would tell them, what's the next card? And I would tell them. And I remember her going on and being like writing down feverishly, like how many times I was able to guess right. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for gifted children. And then on top of that, they would put headphones on. We would listen to binaural beats. They're trying to gauge whether or not, like, how our mind works and if our brains can essentially figure out, okay, so when like you hear binaural beats on one side and then on the other, it's supposed to do something to like the in-between part where like your mind begins to pick up on patterns. And I can't remember the questioning that they had around that, but I do remember listening to the headphones. And the most important part to all of this is the little pink drink I would drink afterwards, which is now known to be fluoride. Fluoride to calcify the pineal gland, to dampen it so that your gifts are not readily available to you. And then, at some point within the process, I was chipped behind my ear. I even remember going home and telling my family that I got like a chip. It was almost like, I don't know if they were aware or not that this was happening, but my mom was like, really? And I was like, yeah, it's right there. She wasn't even fucking around for this. Somebody had to have given consent, right? So she signed off on something at one point in time. And that was the beginning of the government experiments for me. So yeah, the money I'm seeking is not only from the original trust and will that was given to me, that was left to me, but also the years worth of experimentation that the government has done on me. Astral travel being one of them. Remote viewing being another. And then on top of that, chipping me, tracking me, surveilling me all these years, and then whatever else that they wanted to do with that information. I am gifted, as evidenced. You guys know because you're watching me. So don't you think the government would want to peer into my internal world to try to figure out what it was I am seeing in my third eye? Yeah, they did. But I'm getting my powers back, and that's where the awards and flowers are coming from. Short distance travel potentially in your future. Okay, short distance travel needed to come up. And something about writing. Writing is important. Maybe even having to write like a testimony of sorts. And I only say that because of DOJ. Kidnapping. Government watch list. Yeah. And you have a direct connection to source. You guys are so transparent. And by you guys, I mean the government. You guys are so transparent, at least to people like me, which is why you did not want me to wake up to my gifts. I see that now. But regardless, this is your reading, collective. I'm only giving my stories so that it can get out there. International travel even. Short distance travel and international travel. Oh, for a spy? Is a spy in an urban setting? Or perhaps somebody is spying on somebody else and they are in an urban setting. Let's just see what energy my collective is in right now. What energy is my divine collective in? Hopefully you are divine, even though kidnapping and Luciferians is out on the table, but that could just be information that you're aware of. What energy is my collective in right this minute? You're in your North Node. You're in your life's purpose. Number 41. You could be 41 years old. But 41 is also a 5. So this was a recent change, a recent development into your North Node. We love that. On your life's path. Okay, so we love that. You're in alignment. And you've released a lot of energies from the past, which is huge. Give us one more on the current collective's energy. Gemini, I think I can. Come on, ride the train and ride it. Maybe trains are significant. Maybe you'll be taking a train during your short and or international travels. Oh, I love trains. The best train ride I ever took, and it wasn't, a train ride that had a specific purpose other than just to get you to your place, but it was from Milan. Oh. Hold. Apologies. It was from Milan to Switzerland, Interlaken. And it was just beautiful. Very peaceful. Anyway, number 6. This is a balancing. 6 is this was meant to be. It's your purpose. But you're also highly adaptive and intuitive. Yeah, you do think a lot. Contracts could be significant with this short and international travel situation. But communication, fast-moving communication too, this might be coming in rather quickly. When you step into your purpose, things tend to move rather quickly from there on out. Okay, we'll just do a couple tea leaves and then we'll get into the extended and tarot. I'm so excited to use my new decks. All 3 of them came in. Yeah, I did. I went for 3 more. But they were all necessary. I'm addicted. Dark woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. May or may not resemble this chick. That's you, collective. Other signs, synchronicities. Flag. Don't be tempted to lower your standards. Don't do it. Yeah. Now that you're in your North Node, depending on whatever your path is, people may or may not. So with the change, there's always going to be inevitably people that don't like it. They want to see you. They don't like change. They want things to stay the same. So you could be dealing with that. But also I get, where was I going with that? Losing my train of thought. Maybe you're losing your train of thought too. Chair filled. Someone new is entering your life. Oh, what I was saying with the North Node is people don't like change, but then, depending on whatever your path is, sometimes people just don't want, because they fear what that path might mean for them. If kidnapping, Luciferians, anxiety, frigid, hermit mode, DOJ is on the table, GATE program, then there's a portion of people that inevitably don't want you to be in your North Node on your path. Like your path means something different, completely different for them than it does for you. Throat chakra. They don't like what I have to say. Woman here, dealings or relationship with a woman. Again, with dark hair. Doesn't have to be of Asian descent, but could be. Maybe there's a little bit of that mixed in somewhere. I mean, look. And it's falling right by the most curious word, Carmen Sandiego, teacher. All 3. So certainly brunette hair is here. You know who I was thinking of? And this person obviously isn't tied to the bad part of this reading, but Oh gosh, I don't know her name. I apologize in advance if you do watch me, but the chick from Rotten Mango, love her, by the way. Between Rotten Mango and Morbid, I want to be on those podcasts as like a little ancillary like commentator, pulling cards. So if you guys watch me and you're like, no, I think this could be like a really good fit for us, reach out. I am so invested. I listen to you guys like every day, even falling asleep. Ah, 4-leaf clover. Great and good fortune. If I am speaking to, I'm sorry, I don't know your name from Rotten Mango. Maybe you played like the violin or the bass or cello. Yeah, something like that. In which case, you're my Lieutenant Dan because I want to learn that. What else? Any other signs, synchronicities that the collective can pick up on? These little signs and synchronicities are something that should resonate in your world. Anything else before we get into the extended? And I'll do a little refresher here before I go. Egg. Success is assured with good plans and hard work. Right next to 4-leaf clover. 4-leaf clovers could be significant in your world. Maybe you'll see one soon and that'll be a sign, or you did just see one. Something like that. All right, refresher. We have teacher, Lieutenant Dan. New alliances. I'm sailing away. So that tells me that, like, if you are a teacher, maybe you're going to a new school, or you're getting out of the teaching business as a whole, or you're just, I get teacher, Lieutenant Dan, that is you. You are a teacher and a mentor. What do we got here? Oh yeah, Most Curious Award, the Carmen Sandiego Award. That would totally be the chick from Rotten Mango. Her investigations are beyond, and I was cracking up so much to like the last couple of videos that she put out about Mackenzie Shrilla. It was so funny because everything, first of all, she gets me pissed off. Not the host, but Mackenzie does. Just like her mentality. But like the commentary from them, like I would say something and then she would say the exact same thing afterwards. And I'm like, yes, confirmation, we need to work together. So between Morbid and Rotten Mango, I'm just gonna force myself into your guys' world. Anyway, moving on. We have string instruments, something about being busted, high-level soulmate, speech. The high-level soulmate might have been busted. Like, you know who they are. Speech. It's giving Karen vibes. Sometimes confusion is the lesson. I'm now realizing that I missed an S at the end of sometimes. Anxiety, don't forget to name it. There's anxiety right there in the middle of the reading. Maybe you have anxiety about the frigidness aspect. You have so much to look forward to. Okay, next line, because I do get that there's a separation here. Luciferians, kidnapping, hermit mode, build it and they will come. Who the hell do they think they are? I get like, the Luciferians are like, who the hell does the collective think they are for getting in their North Node and for thinking outside the box? Literally. It like busted their plans wide open. You're an absolute joy to be around. I don't know if the DOJ is saying that to you or like you're just an absolute joy to be around and you deal with the DOJ a lot. GATE program for talented and gifted children. Maybe you're here to do a little research on the GATE program. In which case, if you are, please invite me to the show. There is a need for people to hear you, short distance travel, writing, government watch list, and you have a direct connection to source. If you feel like this is your reading, come meet me over at newworldangel.com, and under extended YouTube readings, you can purchase this one. And I've recently started doing a rental option where it's a little bit cheaper. You don't get to download it, but you do get it for at least, I think, 48 hours. And yeah, that way more people can enjoy my readings without having to spend so much money, because I do want to make this available to most people. So if this isn't your reading, I will see you guys on the next one. I love y'all. Bye.